Have you ever said something fairly mild and immediately felt the atmosphere change? Not because you were being aggressive or trying to provoke anyone, but because the other person wasn't listening to what you actually said, and instead they were listening for what you might mean. And then suddenly the conversation starts to become heated. So, over the past few years, I've noticed that more and more conversations don't just turn into disagreements, they turn into standoffs. Not because people have become cruel, but because disagreement itself is increasingly being treated as a threat. And of course, I'm not saying I'm above it because I've been part of this dynamic myself, because there's been times when I've taken things personally, reacted defensively, and at times even lost friendships because of it, which is something that I deeply regret. But looking at it more clearly now, I think something much deeper is happening because a lot of people today are living under constant pressure: economic pressure, social pressure, identity pressure. And underneath all that, there's a sense that everything feels fragile. And when people feel cornered, they don't defend ideas, they defend themselves. And at that point, disagreement stops being intellectual and it starts becoming emotional. And that's when conversation turns into combat. Not because everyone wants conflict, but because everything starts to feel like a fight for survival. So instead of asking, "What do you mean?" people often jump straight to, "Oh, you're one of those." Because labeling someone is quicker and it gives a sense of control without requiring any effort to gain understanding. And it also replaces curiosity with certainty. But I don't think that makes people stupid. I just think it means that they're overwhelmed because when everything feels fragile, nuance feels dangerous. So, personally, over the last few years, I haven't tried to argue harder. I've just become more selective and I've realized something important, which is that silence isn't always fear, sometimes it's discernment because not every conversation is actually a conversation anymore. And maybe one of the important skills to learn right now is how to stay human without being pulled into constant emotional warfare. So, if you felt that shift that I'm referring to, and conversations now feel heavier, more tense, and more loaded than they used to, then you're probably not imagining it. Perhaps you're just noticing the pressure in the room, so to speak. I'm Andy Gates, and this is Between Worlds. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.